George Polk Award. Honored, singled out for excellence in television reporting. No wonder more and more Americans trust in ABC's World News with Charles Gibson.
Welcome back to GMA Now. I'm Amanda Miller. Bryant Park is usually a tranquil spot for New Yorkers to relax, but for 1 week, it is transformed into the epicenter of the city for New York Fashion Week. Over the next 8 days, some 100,000 people will attend more than 80 shows here. But who are the folks behind Fashion Week who make it all happen? GMA Now has your exclusive backstage pass. Malice is the Senior Vice President of IMG Fashion, which is the company that produces Fashion Weeks across the country.
Back in '91, when I was just hired to work as Executive Director of the Council of Fashion Designers of America, Michael Kors was doing a show in a raw concrete space downtown on 24th Street. And designers love raw, empty spaces. And you put the bass music on and everything trembles because it's so loud. And the ceiling started to crumble on the runway over Cindy, Linda, Naomi, Claudia, the one named super. They brushed their shoulders off and kept walking. And the plaster, though, landed in Susie Menkes' lap from the International Herald Tribune and Carrie Donovan at the New York Times. And they wrote, "We live for fashion, we don't want to die for it." They took the American industry to task the next day. And I said, I think my job description just changed.
Why do you create a tent? Why don't you just do it in an existing venue?
If New York had a good existing venue, we'd love to have real bathrooms and real walls and all of that stuff. But, there really isn't. And Bryant Park is like the backyard of the Garment Center. 7th Avenue is 2 blocks away. All the showrooms are here. And when this started, it was called 7th on 6th because we moved 7th Avenue to 6th Avenue. Like Wall Street says finance, Broadway says theater, 7th Avenue says fashion.
Sure. So who is part of the team here that you could not live without? Who really makes this happen?
Oh, well, there really is a cast of hundreds, who come from all over to make this happen. The tent people construct everything. Our team, the IMG fashion team, who sell all the sponsorships that make this happen. The city, the mayor, the Parks Department, DOT. I mean, everybody comes together. And then a ton of fabulous creative producers.
It really takes a village.
This is a fashion village, absolutely.
Can you give us a status on the girls?
Lori runs LDJ Productions, which is an event and production company responsible for all of the logistics of realizing a runway show. What exactly do you do here at Fashion Week?
We do overall venue and site management. So we manage all 3 tents. We manage the lobby, we manage the back hallway, and we help out with the flow of traffic going in and out of the backstage and the front of house. We're basically the middleman between the designers, the staging, the lighting, the security, the PR firms, and IMG.
Well, why is it so hard to get the shows to start on time?
It's a combination of late models, a combination of large sets going in one after the next, the editors showing up on time, the guests showing up on time, the weather, a lot of things that are out of our control, but we're working on it. We're getting better.
So what's the most outlandish request anybody's ever asked of you?
We've had models that were dressed as monsters on stilts. We've had lots of live music. It's been great.
So how important is security for you then?
Very important. They are the key to our success. We work very, very closely with our security firm, and I rely on them every second that I'm here.
Ty Yorio is a former New York City detective who has been managing security at the tents for over 12 years. So what is your role here at Fashion Week?
Our role is site safety. Our position is to get the guests in who the designers have invited. It's by invitation only. They have a 20-minute window opportunity to present their collection. And it's sometimes enjoyable and sometimes very challenging.
It's invite only, but many people go to great lengths to try to get in. So what's the wackiest thing you've ever heard from somebody trying to pass your team?
Posing as other people. They'll come to a table and drop a name of a person in the industry when in fact they really aren't. They may know that person is out of town.
Pretend to be Anna Wintour when she's already inside.
Well, and we had a female that said she was Andre Leon Talley one day, which really didn't get very far.
Right, because he's a man.
Correct,
so.
and she was asked to leave the premise immediately.
What's the most dangerous element of your job?
The element of surprise.
And who benefits most from your work?
I think the public, the guests, the designers, the industry itself. I'm happy to say that we're really incident-free.
And how do you work with the photographers?
They're here to do a job, and they're professionals, and we work together, and we understand sometimes their job is very difficult, and we have to always be flexible, and we are.
Dan Lecca is a top photographer who captures the runway shows. He's often referred to as the king of the catwalk. Dan, who are you taking pictures for?
First of all, for the designer. In the case where we are, for Peter Somm. Secondly, for Hearst magazines.
And how many photographers are there up here with you at a time?
Well, I would guess now about 100.
And what makes a good picture?
A good picture makes, of course, a beautiful walk, very good light, a good model, great makeup.
Gordon is the vice president of makeup artistry for MAC Cosmetics, and his team of 175 artists will work over 80 shows over the course of Fashion Week. So how does a look come to the show?
Well, it's important that before a show happens, the hair, makeup, and a model and the designer and possibly a stylist get together and create the woman who's going to be walking that runway.
So who is this and what is he doing?
He's the master. This is Tom Pichot, and he's actually creating right now, or doing a demo for the team of makeup artists who are going to be creating the look for the show. Tom is actually doing Morgan and getting her all ready for the show, and now the team is going to translate that look onto every one of these models.
So
they can
all
go to
of
any
these makeup artists are going to replicate this look?
Replicate it so that it suits the girl's face, because it's really important that no matter what you do, the woman must look beautiful.
And how many girls are you doing?
I think for this show it's 16 girls. Yeah.
And how much time do you have to do each girl?
Well, with Morgan, I will have probably half an hour. The last girl will arrive late, probably 5 minutes.
It's crazy.
But it's a good training, right?
Well, she looks terrific already.
Yeah, this makeup is great because I think it really brings home the point that it's not always about creating something theatrical, but really a nuance. And Tom is obviously the master of creating something that is beautiful, that really makes the girls feel really special.
And where do all the VIPs go to see and be seen? To one of the private, exclusive backstage lounges, like this one sponsored by W Hotels, like this one from Mercedes-Benz. These are the places where all the industry deal-making takes place. I think it's cocktail hour. You're watching GMA Next.
Here's your action.